What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you tune into the channel. You check out the content. With that being said, man, every time Rich Paul put out a statement or he say something publicly, man, I just think about this old game that used to be out when I was a young kid, right? And this game was called Battleship, right? And the object of the game is to find where your enemies their ships are, and you hit the ship and you sink the ship, right? That was the object of the game. But the thing about it is, when it comes to you had people on each, playing one side against each other. But when you got somebody on your side like Rich Paul, who is in my opinion is sinking your ship, is sinking LeBron James ship, man. And it every time he make a statement, it's just crazy. I think Rich Paul is doing everything except for what he is supposed to be doing for LeBron James, as far as helping him, with his image, right? Helping to build his empire and increase his empire. He's doing everything except for that, right? And all he can do right now is bring LeBron James down, because he's not qualified at all to elevate LeBron James, right? And so I just think that the things that he should be focused on for LeBron James, as far as like strategic media management, and you don't see a plan like that in place for LeBron James. Because if you saw a plan like that for LeBron James, then LeBron James, like the way the public feel about LeBron James, they'd have been working on that from years ago. Like, there's no place. It's just like they think that they can control the narrative just by putting a different narrative out there, when that's not it. Like, you have to demonstrate, and it takes time, and they had time. LeBron James left the first time LeBron James left the Cleveland Cavaliers. He left like in, I think it was, mm, I don't know, was it? It wasn't 16. It was way past, I mean, earlier than 16, like 12 or something like that. 2011, 2012, something like that, right? But from that point on, from the time that LeBron James chose to leave Cleveland the first time, they should have been working on repairing his image and putting him in a certain light so he can build his fan base. But nobody in his camp did that. You know, I and it's just amazing to me that they didn't do that. They didn't take the time to build like brand partnerships, like partner LeBron James with brands that's going to also enhance his image, right? But again, you have somebody like Rich Paul, who don't know anything about brand partnerships, or just partnering him with brands that's going to enhance his public image. You know, and I think right now that LeBron James is 23 years in, going on 24. I think it's going to be, I don't know how like how you would handle something like that. And I hate to say like it's too late, because I hear other people say, well, it's never too late to change, right? I don't know how you change it. After 23 years, in the league, when you could have been positioning yourself in a way that, like that would have made LeBron James even more valuable to the league, even when he retired. And people always say that LeBron James is a historian when it comes to basketball. And he know about Michael Jordan, and the guys who came before him, and LeBron James is so cerebral, right? And he's so intelligent and stuff like that. And if that's the case, this is a lesson that LeBron James really missed, right? Because this, number one, the first thing he should have been doing is, after playing basketball, is protecting his image, building his brand. That should have been it, because the way the public sees him publicly is just so important to somebody who makes their living in the entertainment industry. I know he's not an actor or a singer like that, but his fan base gives him leverage. And so if you're LeBron James and you're a polarizing figure rather than a beloved figure, then that's going to affect your fan base. You know what I mean? It's not You're not going to have as much leverage as somebody who is beloved. And so again, like and I see every time I see this guy doing a podcast, man, I was like, you just doing LeBron James a disservice. And what you're doing is, you just sinking him. You really are sinking LeBron James. And I don't know if LeBron James realized that right now. I don't know if he recognized that right now. But I do think that there's going to come a time where LeBron James just say, he helped so many guys. Like he helped Rich Paul, put Rich Paul on. He helped Maverick Carter, put him on, Randy Mims. What about, like, all right, so now, I'm he's gonna need them guys. Like, well, all right, so what can you do for me? It's like everybody is just benefited from the fact that he's in the NBA. He is he's LeBron James, he got money, but what can you bring to the table that's going to benefit this man once he retired from basketball, or not even wait till then, like they could have been giving him good sound advice throughout, just basic good sound advice. And so these guys basically just been around for the ride. And once LeBron James wake up and he realized that these guys are basically of no use to him. Like he's carrying them. Every business venture that he is associated with them, and every business venture that he is partnering with them, is just basically like staying afloat because of LeBron James. When and I learned in business, years ago, like it's even if you pour money into a business, that don't mean that a business is going to be successful. Right? You have to learn how to operate that business. You got to learn how to you have to learn how to gain customers, right? And that's not it's not just money. What some people think that, oh, if I just go out there and I build a business and I invest this and I do some advertising, you have to gain trust. You have to gain trust of your customer base. And that takes years, right? And for him to have been in the league for 23 years and not understand that, I think this was the biggest lesson and the biggest like the biggest way that he has dropped the ball since he's been in the NBA, since he's been in the public light, right? Nobody, no you don't get 23 years of free advertising or free publicity and not manage it the right way, and it's just a sad case, man. Every time I see this guy on a podcast making a statement um, about what team is interested in LeBron James, and what LeBron James think about this and what LeBron James think about this, that like if not only if I'm LeBron James, if I'm his client, Rich Paul client, who is it, Tyrese Maxey and what's the other guy that's in DC, Anthony Anthony Davis, anybody who Rich Paul is representing, you got to be saying, man, this guy's not doing anything for me except getting a cut of my money. That's why some people don't even want, they don't want agents, because they're like, well, what is this agent doing for me besides taking my money? And if you have high profile clients like LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Tyrese Maxey, and he named a few other guys, like he should be so busy trying to set those guys up and with a program that's going to benefit and maximize their like the leverage that they have in the public eye. He should be so busy with managing these guys that he don't have time for a podcast. He shouldn't have time to do that, man. And if I see this guy on TV and he managing my millions and millions of dollars, man, then for every time he do a podcast, he not managing your money right. He not managing your career and steering your career in the right way. Because that's a full-time job. For one person to manage one person like LeBron James is a full-time job. But then you have Tyrese Maxey, then you have Anthony Davis, and there's some other people that he had that he mentioned that he had, but you can't be managing all these guys' lives, you know, or managing their careers and setting up programs, media programs and partnerships and uh you know that is going to benefit them not just now but like after their career is done, man. So I definitely, I like I said, I can see why people don't want an agent. They want to do it themselves because the agent, if you just had a kind of agent that's like just taking a check and taking a cut of your money, then you can, I can understand why they feel that way. So that's my take on it. And like I said, man, this dude is just sinking LeBron's battleship. Make sure to like and subscribe. Don't forget to leave a comment. And with that being said, man, I'm gonna check y'all out in the next video. Peace.